There you are.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Elsie was just here, but I said, why don't you kick yourself and come through the chat? Because I was
Oh, okay.
already picking up just a little bit.
All right. Well, hey, I was gonna let you know anyway. I think I'm gonna sit this one out and just hang in chat. Let you and LZ chat and do your thing. I had a rough
Okay.
day today, and I'm looking at like somewhere between 8 and 10 inches of snow tomorrow to fight my way through back and forth to work. So,
Yeah,
um,
because somebody came to
I'm
my
uh,
door, right? And that's why I'm late. And she said it was going to get like 17.
well, yeah,
But
dude, we're supposed to get all this snow between tomorrow and Saturday, and then the temperatures are supposed to go down to right around zero for about 2 weeks. So none of the snow is gonna melt. Whatever's out there is gonna be there. So
yeah,
it's
well,
gonna be ugly.
I apologize for being late. Yeah, she came
Oh
to the
no.
door. Of course, my phone shut off right now. But I got blessed with $241. So
Oh, hey, all right.
it was worth, answering the door. Just, we had kind of had an impromptu meeting and dissolved the thing. And she gave me some ministry money to, get another camera with or, mic or whatever need for like online ministry. So
Mm,
we'll put it to good use, my friend.
there
Uh,
you go.
thank,
Cool.
thank you, Tome of Reckoning. God comes through again. Ow.
Yeah.
Uh, Thank you, Tome of Reckoning, for liking us over there on Twitter. As soon
Hi,
as Elsie
Santa.
gets back in here, we'll let Shadowhawk pop out, and he'll be in the chat lurking,
Yeah.
and
Lurking and relaxing.
lurking and relaxing. He'll be falling asleep in about 5 minutes because my melodious voice does that to people. Hey,
It
Fanta.
does. You should do
Hey, Carrie.
ASMR. Right? Oi, oi, Carrie. Good to see you, dear.
Oi, oi, Savaloy. How about that? Yes, hello and welcome to the 4 o'clock shadow. Please like, share, and subscribe if you could. Be so kind. Absolutely. You're getting good at that, dropping that in the chat. Your
I'm
daily greeting.
get, getting there.
Yeah. LZ was here, like I say, but I said, would you bounce out and come through the chat? Maybe that'll alleviate any problems we have with the audio. So, yeah,
You do have the links in the chat. I came in through it. Yeah, never mind.
yeah, yeah, you did. Yeah. Sorry again for being late. She knocked on the door. I just got out of the shower. I was just going to let Abby out before the show, and we talked for less than 30 minutes, but it was nearly 30 minutes, and that I knew
So
that
Rex,
time
Rex
it was
gave her the
already
full show.
no, maybe 15 minutes. I don't even think but yeah, we needed to talk and figure out what we were going to do with the money that was left there. And you know i I had mentioned us, and I thought we were in agreement with doing something online, some online painting and arts and different things like that, and witnessing, and have a channel. And it just hasn't kind of come about. But anyway,
There it is.
yeah.
Hey, Shadow.
Say goodbye to Elsie. He
Hello.
probably won't want to talk to me after today. I'm going to grill him like T Bunny says. Man, I just got off
Well,
with Rex with being grilled for 2 hours.
There you
I
go.
can,
He said
I
that in a
can,
DM group. I'd still get a tickle out of that.
Yeah.
well,
Nothing wrong with a little grilled bunny.
Yeah,
hey, man, I can plead the fifth.
right, exactly. And he knows where all the dead bodies are hypothetically buried anyway.
Yeah, right.
Look at that sun streaming in. Yvonne said it was going to get 17. What are they saying to you, Elsie?
Same thing, brother. Said
Really?
Sunday
Probably.
night's
That's
going to
what
be
I
a
thought.
monster.
Hey,
Sunday
Eric Aaron
night's going to
Boyd. He says, hell, fellas.
Yeah, there.
Could you imagine
Right.
Rex, LZ Fanta on a panel and the three Southerners and Shadowhawk?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, Fanta, you're absolutely invited. Of course, the link is in the chat. Well, are you ready to be in the hot bird seat, my friend?
All right, Elsie. Good luck, sir. I'm gonna leave you under the hot criminal spotlight, and I'm gonna hang in
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
Leave me
The hot
hanging.
scalpel.
Oh, I see. Shadow's gonna leave me hanging. I see how it is.
I just had a long day, Elsie, and I'm getting ready to face a blizzard tomorrow on my way to work, so I'm gonna get rested up.
Yeah. Get
But
rested up, bro.
I look forward to learning about you and Rex's history and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, well, we'll try to keep it clean.
there, keep it safe for work, you know.
Well,
Hi, Fanta.
Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah, it
Hi,
is.
Fanta.
Hey, Fanta.
Hey,
Hey, Fanta.
hi, Mr. Elsie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She came in on my earlier stream. I dropped and give me 20 stream that I do daily at different times. I try and do them early, but it was a slog trying to get up really early, Fanta.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Where are you from, Fanta?
Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric and Boyd says issue number 6 of Golden Era Comics was literally sent to the printer today, which is going to
Nice.
be the Mr. Muck will not be in that one, but he will be in issue 7, right, Eric? Issue 5 is down in the description. First appearance of Mr. Muck, you can get a copy for like $3.50 plus shipping. Mark
There's
had
an echo.
previously. I know there's an echo. I'm trying to ignore
Okay.
it. I don't know what we're
Okay.
going to do about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Mark had previously said he was going to do so in a few days, but today was officially, just for your information. Cool. He says number 7 with chapter number 2 of Mr. Muck is still being worked on.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and Golden Era number 5 is our today is our featured book. It is down in the links down in the description and in the title today. Number 5 is the first appearance of Mr. Muck that Eric worked on. Shadowhawk owns most of the original artwork. He's from that story. He bought that from Eric.
Wow.
Now you can all recite Bubba from Forrest Gump. I will start you all of shrimp stew. Shrimp stew,
I
fried
think he's
shrimp.
hating on her.
Yeah.
Shrimp
Thank you.
sandwiches, shrimp soup, shrimp cocktail.
She just wants to hear us Southerners talk because she's in the UK and she likes how we talk.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it is what it is.
Mark, the editor and publisher, is waiting on another artist to finish his story for issue 7 for Golden Era. Well, that gives you some time to work on your stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
finish it up. Looking forward to that. I believe you can get 1 through 5 right now. 6 is getting ready to drop, and then 7, which will have the second appearance of Eric's character, Mr. Muck, will be in issue 7, which shouldn't be that far. If we support it like we did number 5, then there will be another 6 and 7. It'll keep going, and you can get some more further adventures of Mr. Muck, hopefully.
Yep.
Okay.
Shadowhawk Talks, I wish I could provide a definitive date for issue 7. I know it's exciting to have that stuff come out.
Where did Shadow
Fanta,
go?
besides talking to me and Doc earlier today, what else you got done? Did you get that hot pocket?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the tomatoes and bread for my tomato sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
But
Doc and her behind the scenes were talking about liking stewed okra. LZ, do you like stewed okra?
boiled okra.
Boiled
I
okra.
prefer it.
Or is You prefer it fried?
Yes.
But would you eat it stewed? Boiled?
Man, it ain't gonna kill me. I eat anything, bro.
Yeah, eat anything you put in between him. I've seen him eat like 5 or 6 eggs in a sitting, hard boiled eggs. He'll eat that like candy. Oh, Eric
Yeah.
says Fanta is my hot pocket.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness, Eric.
shame on you, Eric.
Well, that
Um,
sun's coming in dramatically. That's what's called dramatic
save,
lighting.
save it for the man cave.
She does a show called The Man Cave.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm
you
a,
know, he can come in this man cave. It don't matter.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've all got one, right?
I guess.
I'm
I
pointing
got
to
a
our
dwelling.
background, Fanta. Fanta's
Yeah.
legally blind. She's legally blind. She can
My
see, but
mother,
with great difficulty.
right.
So you need to pray
My
for her eyes.
mother-in-law. She
Yeah.
she went blind when she was like 60. Just bought
Mm.
her a brand new car and retired, and then that happened.
Who
But I'll
was
be
this?
praying for Susie's mother,
Oh, yeah.
my wife's mother.
That's awful. I haven't been able to drive in a few years. It sucks.
Yeah.
I bet it
With a
does.
name like Fanta, I bet she's juicy. Shadowhawk says, wow.
Shadow,
Wow.
you
Save
too?
that for the man cave.
I mean, for
Figured
real?
How dare you?
she was probably a fruit flavored like orange or grape or
Yeah.
Fanta.
And you, Fanta, I think you said you don't even like Fanta soda.
I don't.
Well, I'm just that's cool. I don't either. I drink
I love it.
the real
Give
thing.
me some more of it.
I
I'll
like
take
Dr.
it.
Pepper in my sweet tea.
Somebody was telling me, man, that they a BLT somewhere was bacon, lettuce, tomato, and peanut butter, and that's all.
No
That's the way
bread.
it serves. I was like, what? Now they're
Mm,
serving bacon peanut butter milkshakes down there at Sonic. Can you
Oh
believe that?
God.
I believe it.
I hadn't had one.
Fanta, you have any questions that pop into your mind that you'd like to know about Elsie?
Well, I know he's your very, very, very good friend.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice gentleman.
Thank you.
Do you have a big comic collection?
Yes.
A bunch of it's right there behind him. I don't know if you can see that, but there's short boxes back
Oh.
there.
I probably had 30 boxes or so, small boxes,
Wow.
And I've got them underneath me here. I've got them everywhere. I looked at my insurance guy. He brought a handful of comics to me. Today he came and took some paperwork and he dropped me these 2 comics for doing it for him for free.
Okay, so you got, oh wow. Yeah, that's a
This
good one.
didn't cost me anything.
Fantastic
Neither.
Four number 76, 75, something like that. Metal Man, that's a nice one.
Got him for free just for looking at his books and
And that
kinda
Metal
showing
Man
him what he-
there, that Metal
Wow.
Man was probably colored by Jack Adler. Just saying.
It's Ross and Andrew and Esposito.
Yeah, Mike Esposito, but it was probably colored by Adler.
Oh,
Just
I
saying.
don't know. Now,
Wow.
I didn't know. If you're going to interview me or something like that, if you want me to show some books, I can show books all day. If you want to look at books, we can just.
No, you're not getting out of it that way. All right, you showed that one. Go ahead and put it up there where we can really see it.
No, you want to see what I've got a few here? I
No,
just pulled these out.
no, I'm kicking him. I'm just gonna kick him. That's it. I shouldn't ask for that one. He grabbed for a whole stack. Hey, good
I
stuff.
thought,
Hey, good
hey, good
stuff.
stuff. What's
New
up?
intro for the man cave tonight, he says.
Woohoo.
Mercy.
Fanta McNasty.
Yeah, I
Why are
have
they
many
picking on?
names.
Why are they picking on you? Huh?
It. I don't
I don't
know.
understand. Maybe it's
I
because they
called.
love you.
I think that might be it.
I think it's it. You know, they
Yeah.
wouldn't say nothing to you if they didn't like you.
No, they wouldn't, would they?
Now
I love them to pieces.
your name's Walter Danley, but you go
Yeah.
by
Well,
Elsie.
actually, my name is Walter Elsie Danley Jr. Okay,
All right.
that's my name,
But
Mister.
and you just didn't want to go by Walter, right?
I didn't like Walter. I'm sorry.
Didn't like Walter, so you've always went by Elsie. Did
Walter,
that start in
I kind of
childhood?
well, see, my dad. You know, they called him Elsie, and they called me Elsie Jr. Okay, all my growing up. So when I got
Okay.
older, they just called me Elsie. You know,
Uh-huh. My
so
mother didn't like her middle name, which was Nancy.
that's a
Uh,
pretty name.
well, no, actually, her middle name is Carolyn that she goes by, but her first name is Nancy, Nancy Carolyn Christian. So it was
Hmm.
Nancy Carolyn Clark,
Well,
but
I'll be
she
honest. You know,
never
there's
liked
not any
Nancy.
dislike about my name. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm
Well,
happy to
everybody
have it.
asks me, or they're like Elsie, and I always thought it was kind of it's
Yeah,
not a common name, especially
they
for a
want to
guy.
put it like a L and a Z. You know,
Yeah.
they need to know how to say it. That's how you say it, like the two letters.
So, all right, let's start from the very beginning. Without getting into the bedroom, where were you born?
Oh my gosh. Okay, Haytime, Missouri.
Hayti, Missouri. And how long were you up in Hayti, Elsie?
Well, I actually lived in Peach Orchard, but my I was born at the hospital in Hayti. My grandparents lived in Crothersville, and I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in Crothersville a lot and Peach Orchard a lot because I stayed
I,
at my grandparents. I stayed wherever, you know. It's cool.
I know you were real close with both sets of your grandparents.
Oh yeah, man. Look, man, how many people are fortunate enough to say, "Hey, I was 30 and I knew my grandparent like, you know, I still can go see him and they're still around." And then
Mm-hmm.
you start losing them the older you get, you know. And it wasn't up till just recently, about a year ago, that I lost my dad, you know. So
Yeah.
Mm.
my mom was about 11 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
And so
But
I'm,
now
I'm,
that was a medical accident. She could have lived longer, really.
but yeah, that robot they
Your
used to,
mother always struck me as a very young, vibrant lady, you
hey,
know?
that's the way it was until the day she died, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry
You
to
And
know,
hear
she
that.
was, I appreciate your sentiments. I really
it,
do. But, you know,
it kind of warms my heart, Elsie, just to think about her, really.
well,
Aw.
you know, it does mine every time I do, you know, because there, you know,
Yeah.
I learned to be gentle and kind through my mother. Now, if
Yeah,
I was outgoing,
you want to know about
step,
Elsie, you had to really know his parents because we're kind of a product of who raised you, right?
yeah, we are. Of
And
course,
and I can
you
see
know,
where you get a lot from your dad and you get a lot from your mom.
of course, you know, and it's
Hmm.
good when they're not the same, you know. My
Hmm.
dad was more of a, yeah, get out there and show them, son, you know, where
Yeah.
mom was, okay, think about this now. Be sure this is what you want to do, you know. And
Yeah.
so
The conflict is within you.
always is, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm a better person from having met both of them. Um,
hey, I'm a better person for you being in my life, brother.
A lot of good
Most
memories. Well, thank you for saying that. I mean,
I'm not
believe
just
I was
saying.
thinking about how we met, and I think we were introduced by Charles, weren't we? I mean, I met
Yeah,
Charles at his old
he
house, which you never went
was
over when it was down there
yeah,
by the cemetery,
there.
by the hospital. But I believe Charles introduced us, didn't he? Out there at the college.
Well, what I believe what happened was you came over to his house while I was over there,
Yeah,
and we
but you
met
said
each
you
other.
never were over there at that old house. You're not talking
What,
about the one that was over there by the hospital, St. Bernard's, are you?
brother? It could have been. I'm just telling you, that's a long time ago. I graduated in '86.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
college.
might have
You know
met you. So you're probably thinking over there on Broadmoor, right?
what? I remember that you walk up and it was this. It was a concrete home, and he had his pit bull chained up in the front porch, and he'd jump up on the banister and look at you when you walked up there. And
Yeah.
if he knew you, everything was cool. If he didn't
Yeah,
know
he's a
you,
pit bull. But I mean, even then, it's like I don't care if they knew, and they Charles had them trained that if he said rip my
well,
friend's
you
throat
know,
out, they probably would have.
well, see, the first one he had, you know, it it was a real good dog. It wasn't that it was huge, but not as Ranger, I think, is who it was name was. But
Well,
all of
Liberty
them.
was one
He
of them. You remember
said,
Liberty?
if you're gonna have at least one of these dogs, you better be able to control it. He says, or you don't need it.
Right.
You know, it'd be bad for everybody.
I
I mean,
remember Liberty because I have even to this day, I think it's the only painting that I have of Elsie. I mean of Charles's, but and it's of Liberty.
well, I
The
think
other
I've got
two
one
that I
drawing
had
back
bought,
here.
huh?
I think I've got a little drawing. I'm looking.
Now Charles was older than you and me, right? I mean, I know
Yes,
he
he was.
was with me. He was,
He was. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Things we heard about he was involved in. you know,
Well,
we
I
were
know that he told me that uh he went to Woodstock. He said he hitchhiked up there. He was like 18.
look, man. He's
He
told
said
me
he
he
arrived on the second day. Huh?
he said he said on the stage with Kennedy. That was back in his time. He
Wow.
freaked me out.
Said on the
I mean,
stage
this
with
dude.
Kennedy.
Yeah, I mean,
JFK?
he said he was like sitting up there, like cross-legged on the stage while he was giving a speech. You know,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
he was like sitting there. He was just listening. He wasn't involved in no way.
Yeah.
You know, he never was a
I
politician.
don't
That's
guess
for
I ever
sure.
heard that story before.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
Well, you pursued a degree in what?
education,
In education
education.
with an emphasis on art, right?
Yes, art education.
Yeah, art education. What's your favorite comic, LZ? Carrie wants to know.
What's my favorite comic?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many wonderful ones I'd like to have, but if you're asking me,
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with Superman, and I don't care what anybody can crack up laughing, whatever they want. But when I was a kid, that was the only superhero I knew of, brother. So there you go.
Well, I mean, you watched him on TV, I'm sure, and uh, you read like war books. What were some of the other comics you read as a kid?
You got to understand, my first 5 years, I was stuck out in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't no stores. A store had 10. You can get 10 pieces of candy for a penny. I had to walk a mile to get that.
Was
But
that
I
in
lived out,
Missouri? Was that in Missouri?
yeah. And then I finally moved to Memphis when I'm like in the second grade, and I still didn't know what a comic book was, brother.
Right.
And my interest really peaked when I got to be reading and the art really helped my comprehension, man. It was awesome. But I did my dad he was in the National Guard, and he was always talking about the war and things.
Oh, I didn't know that
So when he
about your father, that he was
came
in the
back for
National
sergeant,
Guard.
I was ready to read some rock stories, or some combat, or you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then you grew up and saw superheroes, which I
Yeah.
saw a little bit later. When I
Right.
met you, the first comic I bought off a rack was a Punisher #2, his first series, his miniseries.
Yeah, with Mike Zeck artwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I
But
would, of course, I was into comics and I kind of made some recommendations. I remember making probably that or like
man,
Grendel. When Grendel
I
came
would.
out, I was kind of hot on that. And I know Charles kind of liked comics too. He had some comics.
Man, that Longbow Hunters, man, was really nice by Mike Grell. It was really nice.
Your
I liked
wife
it.
tested me not too long ago, a year or so ago. She goes, with a smile on her face, I thought she might catch me on this or give me some information I didn't know, Elsie. She was like, do you remember? I can still see it on her face. She's like, do you remember where we first met? And I told her right off. I
Yeah.
remembered the first time I ever saw her because you were living on campus in the trailer system that they had, which is no longer there. Um,
Uh, Trailer
your
was
wife
about as big as this
Martha,
one.
you were your second wife was friends with you and Martha, your first wife at that time, and she came up and you introduced her. She came up with a friend. Now I can't remember exactly who the friend was, but I remembered her. And
His name was John Trusty.
yeah, okay, she had told me that, and I'd forgotten. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
do you know where John is today? Is he still alive,
I don't
or
think John's still alive.
okay?
I,
Uh,
you know,
but now your
sad.
wife was very pregnant when I first met her with your first child,
Hey, Rex,
Jamie.
30 years old. I was 30 before I had any kids. And
Hmm.
for, let's say, I would say for a good 5, 6 years, all the doctors told us that, she's not going to have any kids. She had 6 miscarriages. And my two
Mm.
girls they're miracles. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
How
you
many
don't hear from
years? How many years difference between Jamie and Mary? 4.
boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Jamie was still young, 4 years old. She was still young when Mary was coming
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. It
And
was,
you,
it was,
I guess she gave birth to both of them when you lived in Bono.
no.
Is that right? Jamie
Bono was
was. Just
Mary's
Jamie?
born here. Mary's born here in Jackson
Okay,
because
you'd already moved by then.
we was in
Okay.
Bolivar.
Because I know you were, yeah, that makes sense because you only worked in Delaplane straight after graduation out from ASU. You worked 2 years. And I
And then
went
they
out there with you a couple times, I still remember that outside welded thing that some of
It
your
looked like a
students did.
farm.
Yeah,
It
it
looked like
was.
a
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah. You were,
I
it
drove
was like
by
pencils and
it.
notebook
I thought
paper.
it was
They didn't have much of an art budget for you. It was kind of non-existent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like this. We'll pay you $12,000 a year. We'll give you
Wow.
$2 a head. And I bought copy paper and pencils with what they gave me, and then I bought everything else.
Yeah.
I was teaching how to paint. I didn't want to. They gonna limit me? No, not in art. I loved it too much. They're gonna learn about color. They're gonna learn about, how to do different types of
And you were fresh
drawings.
out of college. You wanted to teach that stuff.
Sure. And I had my own room in the back, man. They just act like I wasn't even really there. They just, I just taught art back there and had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
had
just not
parents
enough
coming up there.
money.
No, man. No insurance, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even make $1,000 a month. no insurance. What are you talking about, man? It was, and I drove 30 miles to go to work and home 30 more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I listened to my dad. He said, "Son, experience is worth more than money." He goes, "Do it, and do everything you can. Don't
Mhm.
go a day without working if you can, because you're a lot easier to rehire. You know."
Shadowhawk's got a question. Any of the new crowdfunding funders catch your eye yet, LZ, besides Rex, of course? Cyberfrog, you bought that Cyberfrog figure.
I know. I like that, man.
Yeah.
And you know what
Me
Shadowhawk
too.
likes? Does she want to see it?
Yeah, which one did you get?
I
You
got the
got the
metallic one.
one.
Oh, the electric blue?
The electric blue,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I can go in
That's
the
kind
living
of
room and get it.
that's kind of limited. Have you got something to drink?
Yeah,
We're gonna
I
be
need to
here a
give me a
little
drink. Mom.
while. Okay.
I'll do
All
that.
right. Well, you do that. I and Fanta will chew the fat, as we call it in the South. That is a saying where you're at, right, Fanta?
yeah.
Chew the fat.
Yep.
You think that was fat back in the day?
Fatback?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Chew the fat.
Mm. He got the electric blue. Has he
Well, no,
gotten the comic yet?
Well, Elsie, if you look at that landscape back there, that was done by Jack Kirby. That desert scene back there. Elsie's actually offered to put that up on my campaign for sale. And split half the money. So that was very generous. That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
But that's, like he said, he got his generosity from his mother. He does, there's some spiritual gifts that people have. He has the gift of giving. He really does. And so does Shadowhawk, for that matter.
Yeah.
Very giving. It is a gift. What is that? Cyberfrog.
Whew.
There you go.
Okay, here you go. Man.
I think that's the only one you've backed, right? I mean, as far as campaigns, besides my ash can.
Well, I truly, this is new to me. Okay,
right?
I'm sorry. I've never done what we're doing right now before, except with you, man.
Right.
And all I've ever done is watched some of the ones you have, and most of the people I didn't know. So,
right.
I don't make any judgments, until I kind of get to know somebody. So now, if he's talking about crowdfunders, I don't even have a clue what he's talking about.
Well, that's what we're.
What's out?
Yeah. Well, that's on Fund My Comic, Indiegogo.
Not Casper, so I don't know much about it.
Okay, crowdfunding is basically you doing a book or project and putting it up. You know that, right?
Oh, that would be interesting. I've got a
like
book
what I'm
that
doing
my
with
mother
Devil Flyer. What I'm doing with Devil Flyer here, with releasing my book. I'm doing it on Fund My Comic this time, and not Indiegogo, Pink Channel. Why don't we take a second to good segue to play the trailer?
All right.
Blow it out, brother.
Launching February 3rd on Red Valkyrie's channel. We're going to have some fun with this one, folks. on Fund My Comic.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So we'll set that up as an exclusive because I have no other platforms I'm going to. You'll either get it on Fund My Comic or you won't get it. But I will be setting up my Shopify store here pretty soon. And as soon as I get that mail up information, Fanta, I'll get that to you, and you can do a video.
Okay.
Fanta started last year, about mid last year, was it? Doing
Something
videos
like that. Yeah, something like
for
that.
campaigns on campaigns.
Put up a mail up, if you was going to try to do something, I would have no way of knowing how to go about it.
I don't either, but I'll get there.
Maybe with some help from our friends, maybe.
That's right. Yeah, I actually talked to somebody today that's going to help me with the campaign. He is heavily involved with Fund My Comic, and that's all I will say. He's had campaign up there before, and because it's not just crowdfunding this time. It's a new platform.
Yeah.
Elsie was there when I put up my first campaign. He can tell you how frustrating it was. I would have to type and retype, and something would go wrong. I think Phil Diaz complained about that. He's like, I should have saved that portion, because I think he tried to enter in something like 6 times on Indiegogo
Wow.
at one point. And it took me 4 tries to get up the description that I have up there now on Indiegogo.
But they say it's really easy on Fund My Comic.
Yeah,
That's
from
good.
what I say, from what it is seems to be. I don't know in what regards it's still a daunting task for me, but we shall overcome, right, Elsie?
That's
Damn the
right.
torpedoes, full speed ahead. We're gonna get that up there, and the hardest thing for you is finding that change in the couch or the chair to buy the book with. I'm going to try and keep the costs down. I'd like to offer it for $20 a pop, but I have not priced it out yet, but I think that's doable. I might even go lower, folks. I don't know yet. I'm just going to have to get a quote, on some things.
Yeah.
But I'm committed to doing your beanie,
Yay!
Fanta had a great idea, Elsie.
What does she want?
She off of look at this image when the trident goes over the logo. There. That
I didn't see nothing.
and now he looks.
You cut it off before I could see it.
Okay. All right. Look intently now. Are we ready? Right there, where the trident is overlaid on the logo, and I would love to see that. That's genius. That would make a great T-shirt. That would make a beanie.
Good beanie, good hat, anything.
Yeah,
Good
good hat,
hoodie.
like this Core Draft beanie. It's a simple design. So
Good
your
idea, man.
wife
Good idea.
actually worked at a stitching place, didn't she,
Yeah.
Elsie? They
It's
would do
not too
patches
big.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
Is
not
that
too
place
bad.
still there, by the way?
Yeah, her friend, man, it's sad. It's one of those things. She overdosed. Amanda did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The girl
That
that
was
came.
probably the last job Susie had, right? Was
It
working
was.
for the what was that place called? Was it an
Well, she
embroidery place? Did they
did
make
it. There's a
patches
place on
exclusive?
downtown. They take everybody. Any government, any school, sold their logos, whatever. They
Okay.
take any business. And
Yeah.
then it got to be where that girl says, well, hey, I'll just buy a couple of foreheads and I'll just do my own and make the money myself. And she did that out of her house for like several years and made pretty good money. And then later on, bad things started happening, and it was a sad thing, man.
Well, you met one of my other artists, and we've worked and done art together and stuff for many years. You've met Doc Blaylock. Here's his
Yeah,
crowdfunder that is on
he's a
sign
good
up
guy.
now. This is his first trailer he did. I have not downloaded the current trailer, but this is a good one. That's right, Shannon. Get me over that hump. Magnet, stickers, patches. Yeah. We haven't done stickers. I already have sticker produced and ready to go. Designed by Rob Ewing. Magnets shouldn't be a problem. Patches are the daunting thing, but that's one of the things that I want most. You like patches, don't you?
I love
Elsie?
patches. Yeah.
Do you have a jacket that you have a lot of them sewn on, or have you done that?
Yeah. I used to, of course,
Right.
I'll just reach over here and pull out something that I like.
Let's boogie. That's a good one. You have to kind of keep it up there a little while for Fanta to see it.
I saw it.
Yeah, it was kind of like Robert Crumb's "Keep on Trucking"
Yeah.
patch.
Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers.
Cool.
That's pretty
Looks
cool.
like a pimp.
Yeah, yeah. Gigolo.
Well, I'm gonna have to jump off. I have a question though. How long have you guys been friends?
Since 1985, 39 years.
Thank you. I was trying to
Fanta,
do math. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
I hope your vision gets better, hon.
Oh, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully, I'll be on with you again soon.
I do have
Sure.
some advice for you, Fanta. Next time you count, take your shoes off, use your toes as digits.
I love you, Rich.
I love
Bye,
you too.
everybody.
See you, Fanta.
Bye bye.
I know Carrie's just rolling in it right now because she's like, ooh, look at all this Southern talk. We did not coordinate this, but I'm wearing my green. You're wearing your green today. That's awesome. That's synchronicity for you.
We like green. Growth. Trees. Yeah.
Now you have one younger brother, Lee Danley.
Yes, I've got a younger
Yeah.
brother who's a year and a month and a day younger than me.
What's wild is, on my mother's side, there were the Danleys. I don't know if they're connected with you. And then what was wild, when I was doing prison ministry, I met your father's cousin.
Yeah.
He was
telling me
over
somebody-
all of the Arkansas corrections department for the state. He was the main honcho. So that was pretty good. I kind of got in good with him, and we, that kind of opened the door to, approach him and have something to talk about besides prison stuff.
Mhm.
And, got to tell you, tell your dad that, a couple times, that I've had met his cousin. I don't know if they were close, but
They probably weren't because he knew him,
yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
some
a
of
small
them,
world.
Yeah, it is, brother. Real small.
Yeah.
Real small.
I apologize again, LZ, for being late for the broadcast by a minute or two. Getting a late start. I got a knock at the door with Yvonne, and we had to talk over some old church business.
That's cool, man. Is it okay?
Well, we decided to dissolve the old Freedom Center stuff, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and she needs
do you?
prayer. Yvonne Roberts is her name. She needs prayer, Carrie and LZ and all, and Shadow and all you other people out there, Faith, for her ankle, the top of her foot on her, I think her left foot. She had I said, what's going on here? She had, one of those canes, stability canes, and nice one too, big wide, and then had a light on there for at night.
Gotcha.
But she came by since she couldn't get a hold of me on the telephone. And anyway, we talked. I know but it was important business, so we had to talk. We just had to take time to do it, And I had just gotten out of the shower, let Abby out, and was checking the mail when she knocked the door.
The insurance guy just left, and so I was running around myself.
Insurance guy?
Well, he see what happened when I applied for Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Had 2 policies. One of them I was using, and one was just charging me almost for 2 years, and I wasn't getting nothing. So I had to prove it with these papers that my insurance company sent me that I had insurance with them, and then hopefully I'll get it back.
Good.
I do, that'll
I
be
hope
good.
that works out for you.
And my mom and dad's house still up for sale. They're not in the city, but they're right on the edge.
I haven't been out there a lot, but I have been out there, and actually fished in their pond back there. They have. Is it a lake? What would you call it? A pond? Big pond? It's probably about.
I guess we'd call it a lake because it's about an acre. It's not a big lake, but
yeah, and they own about a third of it, right? It juts up to the back of their property, and they own about a third of it.
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shared lake.
If you're out in the country, and then you jump in your car, and in 2.5 miles you're sitting in Walmart getting everything you need, or Lowe's store.
I had been coming over. It was only a year or so that it's only been about 3-4 years. Time passes real quick, but I did not realize that Jackson was bigger than Jonesboro by more than half. I mean, it is more than double of where I live. You got over 200,000 people there. We don't even have 100,000. We're probably about 70.
Still be in Jackson,
Yeah, Jackson's a lot bigger than what I thought. We've driven different places in Jackson, mostly to the comic store, but we've went different places.
We did that,
and I have yet to see all of Jackson. Jackson goes for a long way, and you got to know where you're going. It's an older town, isn't it?
Oh yeah, when I came here in '93, man, it was still a town.
Why did you move from there to Jackson? Was it just job related?
Thing
and
was,
at first, I thought you went down Mississippi.
I did go,
and
to
maybe
South
that's
Haven
where I was just had it in my mind that maybe you were in Jackson, Mississippi. Maybe that's where I was thinking you went to Mississippi for a little while.
No, it was in South Haven, Mississippi. That's where I went through a divorce there and took my kids and came here.
Okay, so you did go to Mississippi for a little while.
For a year, I taught school there.
Yeah.
You can't live on $649 and no insurance a month. You can't do it.
Right.
Teach school.
Yeah.
Had to get out of there, man.
Yeah.
And then my mom and dad, after things happened, that they said there's 10 jobs opening up, and you're certified in special education.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came on down, and taught that for a while till the art was
Uh-oh.
out.
Your
And
device
then,
kicked you for a second, but you're back.
yeah, just went in a circle and came right back.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
you've taught, I know you've taught math, you've taught like career planning, you've taught more than
yes,
art, haven't you, through the years?
yeah. When I first started teaching, you take what you can get. But when I first started teaching, it was art. But then when I left there, I knew that I was not going to, it's going to be hard. It was hard enough to find that job. It was nothing. Wasn't
Mm-hmm.
paying anything. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that in special education, since I already had the degree, I talked to the doctor out at Memphis State, and he set me up with the courses that add on to the degree I had to make me certified in that area, so I could teach kind of on a waiver till I got certified. So I got to keep working, even though I wasn't certified in special ed at the time, but I was taking classes to get certified. And that's what I did for a couple of years, and that's how I got here in Jackson. But I only had to teach for 3 years, and taught resource math and like geography, and it was pretty interesting, teaching kids that need special help,
Mm-hmm.
But then when the job opened up for art, I said my days of signing federal documents were over. So I started teaching what I loved, and that was art. And that's where I stayed for the next 15 or so years
Now, your dad and your
before.
mother lived in Jackson
Yeah, well, I
before,
actually
prior to
moved.
you coming there, right?
Yeah, that's why they've been here probably 3 or 4 years before I came.
But now, yeah,
He
they
was
used
passed
to live in Memphis, right? Where your sister lives now. Is that correct?
by the same house that my sister lives in. It's my
Yeah,
parents.
I
They
know.
moved.
I know. I and Charles came over there a couple of times and stayed
Yeah,
over there at your sister or your parents'
yeah,
house. I guess they were still there maybe the first time I went there, or
they
well,
were.
both times probably.
Yeah, every time you came, they were. It was their house.
Yeah.
And then they moved out to German. From Germantown, they moved out and stayed at a parsonage, and he pastored a
Was
while.
that in
He retired.
Germantown? Was their house in Germantown?
It still is. My sister lives there at
Okay.
Balmore,
And now
Germantown.
your brother lives pretty close there, but it's not necessarily in Germantown, but it is close, right?
He lives off in a subdivision that has a lake that's probably 5 acres, maybe
Is that
10 acres.
Cordova?
Now, it's its own subdivision. You turn off of road in Memphis and you go back into this area where a lake is, big huge
Yeah,
lake.
it's nice.
You can ski in it.
It's a
And
huge lake.
he's got a nice home there. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, he married up. I mean, really, she had a lot of money,
Well, of course,
you know.
and she did.
He married up.
But he got his degree. He's a doctor in his own
Hmm.
right. He got his PhD.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pursue that. After I got my master's, I said I'm not going to
Now he got
pursue
that later.
it. After I almost retired, he got his PhD, and then
Yeah.
he's not even
Yeah.
using it. He's not even using it in his degree in
Yeah.
his work.
Not everybody
He's
that does actually uses it.
actually right now he's selling murals right now.
Oh, is he?
He's with a company that does murals, and that's what he's doing now.
I remember
Pretty
you and
cool.
I went with him to see the Rodin show
Yeah, man. You
in
saw a lot
Memphis.
of good art. Was that the
Yeah.
one I touched the Van
And
Gogh?
and his boys were like 8 years old, maybe young, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They were real young
Everybody,
then. And now
everybody's
one of
young back
them's
then.
a lawyer,
Yeah, my
Lee
nephew.
Jr., right?
Now you tell me, passed the bar on his first try. That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I'm proud of him. He's working for Nashville, the state, right now. That's what he's doing. a lawyer for the state.
Now, what's your sister do, or what has she done?
My sister was a teacher as well, except
What did she teach?
she taught Lord, I don't know. It was younger kids, but she only taught for a few years. It
She's
wasn't
your
like that.
younger sister, right?
She's my oldest. She's the oldest child.
Oh, she's the oldest. Okay, so you're the middle, because Lee's
Yeah,
younger
I'm
than
middle
you.
kid. Yeah,
Okay,
Lee's younger.
I probably knew that. It's just I've forgotten. I think I've
Well,
only
there's
met your
four.
sister once or twice.
Yeah, there's
Now
4
wait a
years
minute.
difference.
Now we went to the old home. I mean, it was like Civil War
Buddy's house.
home. You want to talk
That
about the
was
Civil
Buddy.
War home and the was it the big tree that was over 300 years old and got struck by lightning?
And the
Had
whole
to be
house
cut
has
down. It
been.
was the oldest in the state.
Yeah, that too. But the whole place burnt to the ground, brother.
But they rebuilt
They,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I was there before it burned and after they rebuilt it. So
yeah,
I've
and I
seen
don't know
both of them.
what's happened since then. I don't know what's happened since then.
Hmm.
No, they don't
But was
keep
it a
in touch.
silver leaf maple tree? I can't
I
remember.
don't know. But it was huge. It would take about 5 people to put their arms put it around it, like
Yeah, it was
this.
a huge tree. It was the oldest of that type in the state.
Got split
I
down the
think they had
middle,
about
right
20
down.
acres. That property was about 20 acres in the middle of Memphis, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And it had the home that they lived in was like built in the 1850s. Is that right?
it was there during the Civil War,
Yeah.
so it was
So
old.
it was really a historical landmark.
It definitely was.
And I know he was like the police commissioner, wasn't he? Police chief?
Yeah, he was the top dog on
He
the
was the
police.
top dog there for all of Memphis, wasn't he?
Yeah, for a while,
Yeah.
and now I think he's retired. I don't blame him.
Now
He said good
but
luck.
now that's on your wife's your on your wife's side.
Yeah, my ex-wife.
That your ex-wife that passed away, and I told this story yesterday that we went to her funeral, and while we were there in Memphis and there at Lee's house, we were watching the tornado hit Jackson,
Yeah,
and it wiped out the post office and a bunch of other stuff. And
downtown was.
you had a signed Joe Kubert book or something waiting on you there, and it got wiped out.
Yeah, it's gone.
You never
The
got
guy
it.
sent me. Never got it.
Yeah, the tornado destroyed it. Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
Because I know we went driving around after that. I came and saw you later after that, and we drove around and saw the houses with the X's on them.
My brother, yeah, I've got on my old computer
A lot
that
of
I don't have
damage.
hooked up. I've got pictures of this all over the city. I took pictures. I had a friend drive me around,
Mm-hmm.
and I just took photographs of all the tornado damage.
Well, it didn't hurt your house though, did it? The
Nah,
tornado, any? What?
I had, and the whole downtown was gone, but out south we had power.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but
It's a good
I mean,
place.
it wouldn't have been a fun ride. I was kind of glad that we were over in Memphis the day before.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I mean, I could
remember,
have been driving.
I
That
remember
doesn't mean
being
I.
over Lee's, watching that on the big screen TV he had there in the living room, and the tornado and what they were saying it was doing to Jackson.
I could have been driving down the road when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
With my kids. You never know.
Yeah, that Civil War place we were talking about was actually your ex-wife's sister's place, right?
Yeah.
Your
Well,
Jamie
actually,
and
that was Pam's husband, Buddy.
yeah, Pam was her sister, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't their place? That was their
Yeah, it
place,
was.
wasn't it?
Pam and Buddy were married, and Buddy Chapman was her Pam's husband.
Yeah. Yeah. He was
And
the police chief,
he
right?
he lived there all his life with his mother. And
He lived there all his life, really? I remember
his
him
mother,
showing us that tree that was over 300 years old,
that's
which
a
sadly
homestead.
about, I want to say like 5 years after I saw it or something like that, it got struck by lightning and they had to cut it down. Split it.
In half.
Mm-hmm. That was pretty sad because that was a pretty impressive tree. And you could tell he was proud about it. You know, he grew up with that tree.
I'd be proud of it.
Yeah.
I'd take that wood and do something with it.
It's not everybody that has 20 acres of like
Not in
woods
Memphis.
and everything there in Memphis.
No. Not
That's
very
a
many
hell of
people
an
do.
estate, you know, that's been in the family a very long time.
Sad thing is, I don't know if it's still in the family.
Yeah. They may have sold it.
I don't know.
That'd be a hard call, wouldn't it? Even if the original homestead. It's pretty impressive that they had the original house rebuilt.
Yeah, to certain specifications.
Yeah. It was a smaller house as I remember it.
Even paintings had to be restored.
Mm.
What do you mean? That thing was a humongous house, man. If you ever
Was
went
it?
through the whole
Okay.
thing.
Well, yeah.
That's a small one. Found it in my pocket.
Found it in my pocket. Yeah. Now, that's with one of your father's sermon notes.
Yeah, it's actually a stickum note.
Oh, okay.
I pulled it off. There's a few of them that had sticky notes, and I used them. You know,
I've shown a few of your paintings and things through, you know, I haven't in a while, but on some of my early shows, I'd show everything, you know. Of course,
yeah.
some of them are big, you know. I've got a couple of big ones that you've done. The one that always sticks out in my mind that you did in college was that one that had the kind of color theory, you know, was kind of staggered that
like
you
a
had in the
rug.
living room there. And
Almost looked
I
like
know
a
your
rug.
sister has a lot of your paintings.
My brother has.
And your brother
his whole
too?
Studio. My brother has his whole studio fixed with him.
Now your brother kind of went into art too, right? He had a business when I first met him down there toward downtown Memphis, and he was a medical illustrator. And he showed me a box. Remember that? Here's about 6 months. I asked him, well, how long did it take you to do all this work? Because it was meticulous. It was, you know, it had to be precise, you know, more in the graphic design area. And he said, oh, about 6 months. I was blown away at the amount of work that he was doing.
You remember the first computer he got? That thing would look like something those that you'd have taken to the moon. You'd take people to the moon on it. It didn't take words.
Yeah.
It filled a room up. It took commands like dot, dash, zip, you know.
I'm sure I saw
stuff.
it. I just don't quite, you know, remember it.
Yeah,
I do remember that he had like an old horse sign with wings or something in the back in like the chill out area. So, you know, above, I don't know. He had some stuff that he had done artistically stored back there. I do remember that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a small little, what do you remember what street that was on? Because it was right on the sidewalk. Jefferson. Yeah.
Jefferson Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Connected with
Close
Front
to
Street, I believe.
It was close to Union and the medical center.
Mm-hmm. And I guess Jefferson and Union both cut through Memphis a long ways.
Yeah,
Most of those
Poplar
streets do. Poplar.
take you through the whole city. You can
Yeah.
start at the river and go down to out of city, on Poplar.
I'm
Of course,
always
but
antsy every time I go over to Memphis because it's so busy. You know?
yeah, I don't go very far into Memphis. So I don't have
Yeah.
to.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's become a cesspool of crime nowadays.
Having all cities become that, in my opinion, most cities, a lot of big, I'm talking big
Yeah.
cities. I'm not talking about a
Right.
city like Jackson or Jonesboro or even some of the other cities, but I'm talking about
Yeah, but I
if they're
mean, in the United States, I think they're like third in crime. That's pretty amazing considering how many more, how many more cities there are that have a larger population than Memphis.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
That's
mean, they
true.
had to cry, the Mall of Memphis that used to be over there off of by the airport. They closed that
Well,
down because it got so bad.
well, you go out to California and see what's happening too.
Yeah. Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing.
I mean, where they just come
And
in and steal stuff.
you
Absolutely.
you can go area of Philadelphia.
Hmm.
I mean, there's
That's what I'm
you go.
saying. For them to be third on the list, Memphis is doing something wrong
It's
because
gone,
there's
man. How do you stop
there's a
gangs,
lot
man?
bigger cities that don't have the crime that Memphis has. I guess Jackson, I never realized Jackson was so big. I guess crime's
Yeah,
not too bad
we're,
right there, huh?
we're, we're in between Memphis and Nashville,
Yeah, yeah.
right in the
You're
middle.
about an hour's drive, 45 minutes out of Memphis.
No, I'm an
If you
hour and
don't hit
15.
any construction along the way.
I'm an hour and 15 minutes from Memphis. I am about an hour and a half from Nashville, almost two, hour and quarter, three,
Shadowhawk
hour
says,
and
I used to
45.
go to Chicago 10 to 12 times a year. Haven't been to the city in at least 10 years.
It's good, Shadow. Stay
Yeah.
safe, bro.
Stay safe. Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget that 14-year-old that was shot dead just by drive-by shooting. She was watching TV in her own living room in her own house, and the bullet come through the house and hit her, killed her.
Well, I
That's
mean,
how
there's
dangerous
a
it's
simple
gotten there.
solution. You don't have, well, there ain't no simple solution, not in this world.
Yeah.
Not for that. It just has to stop. That's what it has to do.
Now, your faith
And you can't.
informs a lot of your artwork. I guess I've heard you tell me you're a Christian artist more than once. I've went to some of your
That's it.
shows. You've had some good shows. Um,
Well, Rex, what I tell people is not that I'm a Christian artist. I'm an
mhm,
artist. I
mhm,
focus right now. I've been focusing on Christian my beliefs, and it's helped me with a lot of things, such as helping me with grief and things that you know like though taking those things of my dad makes me feel real good that I've taken a part of what he was a part of, and
mhm.
now I'm putting it with my art, and it helps me.
Incorporating and
And
making new memories, right?
yeah, and making to me
I think
making
your
treasure,
father would be very honored by that.
and he'd also you as well as I know, and uh, some of them are stapled together. Where I can read them. Well, I'll keep those. But
Hmm.
there was a stack that big, and
And like you
some of
said,
it was
he thought he had destroyed all that stuff, right?
yeah. My granddaughter found it in the back of the file cabinet. I said, "That's a gold mine,"
Well, I'm
and it
glad you
was.
you have some of that stuff because he was an educator, a preacher for many, many years. How long did your dad preach?
From 80, I believe it was 88 till he died last year.
Yeah,
And he was still, even when he had Parkinson's, if he could stand up, he'd preach.
that's
And
amazing.
but he knew when he couldn't, and he stopped.
Yeah,
But even then, when it got so bad, he really didn't know who we were, where we were at. But It seemed like he kind of did, but you're not sure. But
Right.
you'd go see him, and he's planning a revival. He has me doing the music and having the grandkids doing the ushering, and all the different things that had to be done. He had it all written out. He was sitting at a table, man. He had it
He had
planned
a
out.
real hard time there at the end of it with the like bladder infections and things like that that really affected the way he saw everyone around him.
That too. But Parkinson's itself makes you hallucinate.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was always hallucinating. I'm just saying, but
Now
I
he
don't know.
went to college where we met out at
Yeah.
ASU, although years and years earlier before I was even
Yeah,
born
that was. I
or
wondered
you were
why
born.
they tried to give me his degree because he asked me. He goes, "Why are you taking these courses?" I said, "I'm trying to get a degree." He goes, "We already got one." I said, "What?" And I said, "That's my dad's." And he had, oh. I said, "Yeah, I wasn't even born in '55 or whatever."
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Now his parents just dropped him off, didn't they?
yeah,
At
that
the
well,
college?
see, my both my grandparents, neither one, had money. They didn't. They were working hard, working people like everybody else. Like
What did
you
they
and I
do,
have always
Elsie?
been.
What did your
Well,
grandparents do?
my grandfather was the janitor for the school there in
Now
Blythe.
is that on your mother or your father's side?
My mother and my grandmother. Basically, she would run the like the at school they'd have a refreshment stand, little area, and she would run that. And that was her. She, of course, that was not much of a job because it didn't happen every day. It was like once or twice a week, maybe. But that's what he did all his life. And now you go to my other grandparents. The only thing I knew about them is they had a store, and my grandmother was Pentecostal, and so was my other grandmother was Assembly of God, but my grandfather was not. He said, I can't, you know, go by them rules, man. If
Mm-hmm.
I got to live by the law, you can forget it. That's what my grandpa said, to her, because he said I can't,
Right.
follow the rules.
That
And
sounds
for
like
a long time,
wisdom to me.
took took 72 years though. He'd never turned his life over to Christ. And my dad brought him to Christ when he was 72 years old.
It's
Dad said
never
it was
too
the
late,
best
is
day
it?
of his life. Dad said it was the best day of his life, of
Well, I
his
told
own
you.
life.
Now this was a testimony I heard. A gentleman that was 73 years old, and the pastor came see him. He had come see him throughout the years and witnessed to him, and he witnessed to him, and this time he accepted Christ. And he said, "Oh, pastor, before you leave, come into the kitchen." He was so happy, to accept Christ in his heart, and he was saying, "My mother will be so happy that I finally accepted Christ in my heart. She's been praying for me." And he's 73 years old, and the pastor's thinking to himself, "Yeah, I'm sure she's in heaven looking down and rejoicing with all the saints." They go into the kitchen, and here's this 90 plus year old lady, his mother, sitting there and saying, "Oh, praise God, I've been praying for him for 70 years." 70, 73 years.
Uh,
It's
it's
never
never
too
too.
late.
And if you don't believe in deathbed confessions, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
Because
I wouldn't
God
wait that
forgives
long,
any,
but yeah, I believe in, I had that posed to me,
but
when I
but
was,
God, He'll forgive anything. It don't matter what it is. He don't care. He ain't
yeah, right.
prejudiced.
If you're sincere,
He'll
right. And there's
you're,
scriptural precedence for that, right?
I'm not just
I
saying
think.
it. Now, don't trust me. If it doesn't line up with scripture, I'm not. I don't want to say it. And if it does, if I do, tell me I'm wrong. Okay.
Right. And I often
But
do. I don't tell him he's wrong, but I'm pretty when it comes to scripture, it's like I rake him over the coals and give him. We have had some very not heated discussions, but we have really chewed the fat when it comes to scripture.
Well, it's
Uh,
like this. I know I'm not the one. I don't want to shove it down your throat because
right,
you can't. You can't,
right.
and it works. God doesn't
Hmm.
work that way. Okay,
No,
so I'm not
now
going to
you
sit here
did.
and, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, you know what? That's between you and God. It ain't between me and you.
Were
Okay.
you brought up in the church
Yes, I was.
from very young?
And but you know what, Rex? It wasn't until around '93 I decided for myself
Hmm.
what I wanted to do. Now I was saved when I was 15, 14 or
Oh, I thought it was
15.
14 at a revival.
Yeah, at youth camp. It was at youth camp,
Okay.
buddy, and it was. But I'm
Yeah.
just
So,
saying,
so you were
till
about
now.
14 or 15 years old
But I'm
yourself.
saying until 1993, I never said, "Okay, Lord, I'm gonna turn it over to you. I'm gonna follow you and do what you want me to." So, well, that's cool, Carrie. If you ever need any advice, we'll do our best to never steer you down the wrong road. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
she's an intercessor. She's a prayer warrior. She's a prayer
You
pastor. Uh, Recently, her church,
know,
and that's awesome.
family.
That's like the wheels that the church runs on. You
Something,
got to have a
Rex.
wheel.
I don't think there's nothing that a Christian could have more powerful than prayer.
Absolutely.
That's talking with God Almighty. How can people even fathom that unless they actually can do it or have done it?
Hmm.
You know, I mean that's like talking to some people think you're crazy. That's okay. I am. So what? You know, but I'm not insane. I know
Your
that.
father was pastoring when you were a kid, right? He was
Not
already
when it,
pastoring.
not when I was a kid. He was a doctor at Memphis State.
And you went to Memphis State, but you had problems with one class where they weren't going to
Yeah,
pass you, and you wound up
yeah.
at
So
ASU where we met.
yeah, that's right. I you know
Tell,
I was that kind of. I didn't want to work. I'd already unloaded trucks for $2.60 an hour, and I didn't want to do that no more.
was that
And a lot of
prior to
others.
you working at the hospital?
Yeah, it was. I
Yeah.
was
Well,
young.
didn't you work on the oil platform with your first wife?
I worked at back when I was young, 20.
Hmm.
I worked at a corporation where I climbed out 200 or 300 feet up in the air, man, getting numbers off chain pulls, and man, it was crazy.
Do you have a favorite worship song or hymn, Elsie?
Uh, there's several, but because there's songs that my mother taught me to sing.
Mhm.
Uh,
That you would
you
sing
know,
with your mother too up there.
oh yes,
You would sing
I really,
duos often with
yeah,
your mother.
and I sang by myself many times.
And
But
that
I
was at
like,
Melissa's Baptist Church, which is
yeah,
just right down from your house, not too far. And
right.
kind of in between, isn't it in between you and your father's house?
Well, it's not even a quarter mile. It's about a quarter mile from my house. But to answer Carrie's question, uh, I like the solid rock. I'm standing on the rock of ages, safe from all the storm that rages. You know that one? I don't know
No,
if
I
you've heard
don't
it
know
before.
that one. See, now I
You
probably heard
haven't?
it since I've known you, but what amazed me is that not all churches are equal. That you at Melissa's, you were singing songs I had never heard that were
Well, the
old
reason I
hymnals
sing
to you.
only because my mother dug up a 1909 hymnal and taught them to me. You
Hmm.
know, it wasn't something I just knew.
Right.
I knew how to sing, kind of knew how to sing, but
Hmm.
she'd teach me how to sing these songs because she really liked them, and they were like easy for me to sing. There was a lot of songs I couldn't sing, you know,
Mm.
but I like In the Garden too, and
In
you
the
know
Garden's
things.
nice. You often hear that at funerals. I come to
All
the
I'm saying,
garden alone. Or,
I sang that with Mom many
mm-hmm.
times, and you know, but I'm you know, if you want to go modern, I just heard I knew Willie Nelson had done Still Witness. That was a great album. But
I
I did,
remember. I
yeah,
remember
but I didn't,
you were really hot on Charlie Daniels' Tribulation.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tribulation. I don't
That was
want to
it.
be there.
Still Witness. Now
Yeah.
he also did another album too, The Door. I didn't even hear that till today.
Hmm.
And he did that before Still Witness. Susie had a cassette.
So you taught art and other various things for a total of 31 years.
See, Rex, I taught like the first year I taught, first 2 years of Delaplane was K through 12. Okay, it was a small school. Like I said, it thought it was a farm. I drove right by it, didn't even know it was a school.
Yeah, you're out in the middle of
Okay,
nowhere out there.
then I went to Bolivar. Okay, because I had that summer I went to an
Now
institute
Bolivar is
summer.
in Mississippi.
No,
No, that's
Tennessee. It's
Memphis.
right down the road from me. You know,
Oh,
I I could make it down to Bolivar in less than 30 minutes.
okay.
But that's where I went after I
After
left
Delaplane.
Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I taught
I
there
thought you went to
3 years.
Mississippi.
Look, I didn't go to Mississippi till after Bolivar. Okay,
Okay.
I left Delaplane, went to Bolivar, went to South Haven. After that, for after 3 years of Bolivar,
Mm,
I went to South Haven, Mississippi for a year, and then I went to Jackson.
okay.
Okay, so kind of bouncing,
And you
like, but
had
I
two
was doing.
young girls because you got custody of your two young girls. So you basically raised them and then uh
Well, I raised them. I raised them for till they were 3 and 4, and then well, 3 and 6, 7, whatever. Susie, came in their life after a year. It was
right.
almost impossible to do, man. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. But since then, everything's been cool. Now,
Yeah, you've
Susie's
been married over 30 years, about 30.
yeah, 30
How
years,
long?
going on 31. Be 31 in August.
31 in August. Okay. So yeah, Susie kind of became their second mother, right? In a way,
Yeah.
help raise
And
them.
she knew them when they were born too, because she was
Oh yeah.
always around.
Hmm.
But you know,
I don't guess I met unless you brought them to Arkansas. I don't guess I met Mary till later. Can't
it
remember.
probably was later, because she was actually we were living in Bolivar, and we went to Jackson when she was born.
Well, you would come. You would come see us though. See Charles, and I would meet you over there.
Yeah.
Uh, After a while, I had kind of a falling out with Charles. It was stupid, but we
Well,
just kind of drifted
things happen.
apart. I went and did my thing. He did his thing. I think he knew where I was, and I kind
There's
of knew where
no,
he was. And didn't see him. I saw him like maybe a year or two before he died. It's when my place was broken into, and I had to get a new door. And
mm,
I saw him and
I
Chucky
remember
going through the Arby's drive-through, and I kind of shouted out to him, and we had a quick conversation while he was in line, and that was the last time I saw him. I think you saw him after that when he got into poor health because you knew where he was and was
well,
coming into town every
actually,
now and then to
what
see him.
I went to the hospital when I found he was in the hospital.
Well, you can talk
I
about
went,
that miracle. He got a liver transplant. He wasn't even on the list
not
there at first.
not that time.
He
I
was,
wouldn't stop.
when he got on the
I
list,
saw,
he was way down the list for a new liver transplant, right?
well, but he never got a liver transplant. What he did is they bypassed a section around something,
Okay.
and it could,
I did not know that.
and
I
it,
thought he actually got a liver transplant. That's what he told me when I
well,
last saw him.
if he didn't ever tell me that, he
Okay.
basically told me something real scientific,
Well, I know for I never heard of this, but his organs were like his liver or something. His was shrinking and hardening, and
Yeah,
that's bad when your organs start to shrink and harden for some reason. But I know
the
he went
man
through
lived.
that for a while. I thought he got like, I mean, after I talked to him, I think he lived a couple years after that. And I was
Yeah,
thinking, well, he got his liver transplant. I thought he
well,
was
that
kind of
was.
bragging about that he, kind of God had, done that for him. So I don't know. It's
He was.
been
He
like
was.
I say,
He's
it's been over
definitely.
a dozen years since that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. It's been a while,
Yeah.
but you know, friendships are people. I mean, if I count friends on this tablet here and say that's how many friends I got, that's ridiculous, man.
Hmm.
I mean, if you really think about it, if you got more than this many people that you could get up and get in your car and go over to their house and they'd let you in and welcome you. If you got that many friends, you got a lot of friends,
Yeah.
okay? Because friends are very few. I've gotten hundreds of acquaintances. And even though some of them was kind of good, but I don't know them, you know?
Right.
That's why I've never understood why people get so upset over stupid politics, voting on this person or that person. I know nothing about those people, and they're acting like we should know them. They're not part of my family. They've never spent 1 minute invested in my life. Have they spent 1 minute invested in your life? So you can't tell me you know them. They're a great person. They'll be a good candidate. Who knows anymore? Except by what they do. You're a little blurry, Rex.
Okay. That must be my camera out of focus a little bit.
Yeah, it was out of focus a little. It still is a little out of focus.
Yeah, I can be showing something, and you'll see that probably with your camera too. I can be showing something up close, and it'll kind of, focus on that, be the rest blurry. I don't know why it does that. I think internet gonna have to have, and right now my computer's got some stuff running that I probably need to, you know, take care of.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Mike installed some things that kind of probably prevented it from fully crashing by now. But I do need to have him over here. But you know him; he's on the road a lot. Mike. Speaking of Mike, that kind of helped me um, with my computer and to do some things on the Ashcan campaign. He's a former roommate, howbeit very brief, about 4 months. Then I left and went back home, and he went out to California. Married
He's
his
my neighbor.
girlfriend, but now he used to be your neighbor when you lived out there in the
Yeah.
trailer section in ASU.
Those were wild days, man.
Well, he's still wild.
But
I forget how old he is, but he's older than you, bro. He's like in his upper 60s.
yeah, well, I'm only 66, so I'm a pretty young fella. But
66. Well, he's not that much older than you, but he's approaching 70. Uh, but
yeah,
you're right. I mean, we had like about most of 85, I guess, when we first met. And then we had 86 and 87 when you lived in Bono and Delaplane. And then you left And
I
they're,
had
I
to
guess,
move.
from like, huh?
I didn't have a job, brother.
So
They
from
told me
about
to quit.
87 to about 97,
I
or
never
was it?
saw you.
Yeah, we didn't see each other.
But you popped in on me one day. Gave
I
me a
called you
call.
from Memphis and
Said, come on.
I was over in Memphis since I was in Tennessee. I did a search and somehow,
Got my
I don't know,
number
I
and
got,
called me.
I called you and said I'd come visit you. And I did after that. And we got together and prayed and talked about
From then
God
on,
and a lot of the difficulties I was going through at that time.
things
Current
changed,
home
didn't it,
where
bro?
you're at right now, because you've always, been there since 97 before then.
93.
When did you move into that house?
93.
93. Okay.
1993. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it
Got a
here, man.
big
It's
backyard. He's got a big backyard and woods behind that and everything. It's good that you're on a good grid, I guess.
Yeah.
You were talking about
It
your electricity not going out when the tornado came through.
Yeah,
So
and it seems like when it's ice and things, we'd never go a day and a half, 2
well,
days
you're pretty
without.
close to a fire station, aren't you?
I don't know, bro.
Usually
Yeah,
they're on a pretty
downtown.
good grid. I think there's a fire station down there by your old church or somewhere. I've seen a fire station. Usually if a hospital or a fire station is there close, you're probably on a pretty good grid. Now your neighbor's a retired police officer himself, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
I
been
don't know
he was
him that
probably
well.
there when you moved in, right?
Yeah, he was,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know him. I don't know him as well as I do my other neighbor, Wade.
Yeah.
He's a good fella. But it's like nowadays, really, things are focused on my art, my family, and things that I like collecting and things. That's pretty much my day. Now
Yeah.
there's the responsibility of my grandkids. I took that on by choice. Okay, I said I want my grandkids to know me.
You're right.
I
Like
knew
you knew
my
your
grandfather.
grandparents.
That's right. I want them to
Yeah.
have
They
that,
made an impact on you, and
and I
so
knew
you
I
want to
could
be an impact in their life, a positive force.
positive impact on them as
Yeah.
well. Because the
Carrie says,
world,
I think I'm the only one in chat, but you're not the only one watching, Carrie. So there is that.
well, we're glad you're there, Carrie.
Yeah, we're glad you're here every day. Um, some days are slower than others for viewership, and then sometimes there's other things like the Man Cave and other shows that are done too that but I just keep to my
I told
routine of
Carrie
about
I was
a
going to
couple
tell
hours
Carrie
a day. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be complete if we didn't show some of your artwork. He likes to work in like words into there, and then kind of use that in a design. Good, we're having a chair stream. There you go. Now that's an older one. That's your backyard, right?
That's the real trees, man.
But that's your
They really
backyard,
there.
right? Or was?
Right.
Yeah.
Still is.
And back there in the back on the right, behind his blue trees and red background, is one of my paintings that Susie liked, so I just gave it to her. Yeah. He's pretty wild with his colors. they're not quite Doc Blaylock realistic.
Unconventional, man.
Yeah. There you go, a diptych. Or that might even be a triptych, knowing you.
No, it's a diptych.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at the angle of the light, you can see the gel has been
Right.
applied thickly, and you
Enhance.
can see a face of Christ on there.
A ghost image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie says, I love how you and Doc create such unique art, both such different styles, but both captivating. I'm going to have to show Carrie some of my paintings. My place is full of painting. Oh, that's a nice one. Like that.
I also did a lot that spoke. I was just speaking about what was around me, and I didn't like it going on.
Okay. I'm kind
And
of at a
this
loss.
too, I always thought that covering the face of God up is not. I
Right.
didn't like it.
With the mask and everything. Yeah. I'd love to see some of your paintings. Well, Rex. Oh, okay.
Now, do you want to see more?
Sure. I will try endeavor to show some of those again, Carrie. I'm surprised you haven't seen some of mine. Fanta's art is amazing too. Each way she turns it, people pick out different things they see. Mm-hmm. Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah, zip-a-dee-day, Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder.
I'm trying to get stuff without falling down, man.
Can you believe this is episode 623, Elsie?
623.
At the end of the year. Now that's now okay, you want to describe this, what this is? Or I
Okay.
mean,
This is actually drawings of my granddaughter,
okay. I thought so.
and those are little characters that they watched on TV. And I really don't even know if I finished this. I took the word, uh, love, gentleness,
Yeah. You got love
kindness,
upside down there. There you go, kindness. Yeah, intersecting words. Mm-hmm.
things like that. And this one I did because I'd gone to Lee's church.
Have I been out there?
I don't know. You've been out to Casey Jones Village. You've been pretty close.
Yeah.
I did that one.
Yeah, by the end of the year, we won't hit 1,000, but December 31st, LZ, if everything goes all right, we'll be on episode 978, near 1,000
Wow.
episodes. But it'll be this time next year when we celebrate 1,000. But we're at
This is an actual.
623 now.
This is an actual place that my granddaughter's.
Well, you've always been supportive of this channel. You've been behind the scenes. I'm just sorry that it took so long to get you on here.
It's okay.
I know he's always wanted to be a part of what we do here. Carrie says, wow, Elsie, just amazing. Love the church. One purple is my favorite color. You use such bold and strong colors, Elsie.
Color theory is my favorite subject.
Mm.
Tried to get the cool colors down here. Tried to get the warm colors up there.
Carrie says, these paintings are so exciting. My eyes don't know where to look first.
This is fairly recent.
Very
It's a
cool.
still life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did a still life over your house. I never completed it, but I hate still lifes.
Oh, well, you'll get over it. Well, that's some that I had laying around here close. I don't know if I have any more. I'll look.
Okay. I don't know if I showed you the last thing I worked on, which was like a quarter of this page here. New character that I did, Elsie. There you go.
Okay.
New villain.
Yeah.
Last thing I worked on Topicless. My stuff is more abstract than even
Rex that I
his.
got.
There's our friend Charles and one of his dogs that he had.
It's Sundance.
Sundance, okay. At one time, he had 3.
Yeah. Bell. He had 4. He had 2 in the backyard and 2 in the house.
Liberty
I
was
was
one
over,
of them, I
I
know,
was
but
over there
early
many
on.
times, brother.
Huh?
I was over there many times. Those dogs were best dogs you could imagine. He had them
Mhm.
dogs trained. Boy.
Charles had 7 kids.
Yeah.
You had Chucky,
And,
you had Chris,
and
you
you
had
know what?
Jasper, you had Mary,
Emma.
Emma. Yeah. She was real young.
Let's see.
They're all grown now.
Yeah. Some of them aren't still alive though, brother.
Yeah. Did Charles not have a TV? He had TV, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
She's talking about that one painting that I did.
Yeah, he does a
Are you
lot of
talking about
paintings
this one?
that are cross related.
I think she's talking about this one.
Yeah, cross is up there in the off to the right head. I guess you did that with like gel, maybe some little bit
Yeah, I
of
took
white.
just a touch of white with the gel.
Right. Hmm.
Just let me show up, you know.
Yeah, Charles, he had 7 kids, man. It was always kind of chaotic around there to a certain degree. There's
Yeah,
always
you
kids
know,
running around.
I brought my kids over there and they all had a good time. But
Hmm.
you know, the kids that I know of are doing pretty good now. You know, Jasper's doing that EMT, and
Right.
Chris, last I heard, he was living somewhere, working hard.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, and I hear from his daughters,
Was Mary the one that passed away?
you know, Emma.
Emma,
Mary's still.
or
He
yeah,
talked
Emma.
about his first daughter.
Huh?
What about his first daughter, his oldest daughter?
Right. I can remember her, the way she looked, but now her name is escaping me. But now there was the Winfrey, the youngest.
Yeah.
He's all grown, of course.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe
I
that
haven't
that
heard.
was like almost 40 years ago.
It seems like yesterday, brother.
Yeah.
Look, I was looking through these books. Look what I found, man.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's nice issue. Yeah. 2000
I
Superman
guess
2001,
I guess I just
not
when I saw it.
1976. Yeah, I mean that's a good one to have. It's a good one to have multiples of. It's just a good issue. Kurt Swan cover, black sensitive cover,
Yeah,
dealing with his
I ran
origin.
these Rex between these, man. Charles Vest. Charles Vest.
Eye of
This
the Needle Man. Charles Vest. Yeah, I like Charles Vest stuff. Art Adams also in that.
pinups, yeah.
Yeah, you know I like some Swamp Thing.
These were all like this is 124,
Right.
123, 122, 125.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little run to read, you know. Then it jumps to like 126.
Oh,
Then it
that's a good one.
then it jumps
Like
to
that close up.
129.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I have that one actually.
Pretty cool.
Carrie says, I think Superman was the first comic character I knew. I remember as a child watching the TV series with Dean Cain as Superman. I've actually watched some of those Dean Cain recently, Lois and Clark. The first, it was only a little bit ago, I watched the first 4 seasons. Yeah, that's a good one because it's got little Action Comics #1 pictured there where Superman marries Lois Clark. Lois Clark. Lois Lane. 40th anniversary issue. 35 cents. Yep. Now I had that one. There's the Supermobile. That's a Neil Adams cover there.
Look, man. If somebody's doing this like a live auction, and he's just trying to sell his books, and he holds up like a stack of Action Comics, and he says, "I'll take," and I offer him $7 for all of them, and they're
Right.
near mint. Every one of these are like brand new. Okay.
Yeah, but they're about 50 years old.
They're worth it, man.
They're worth that. You bet.
I mean, just makes your collection real nice, you know. See, these are the ones I don't know, Rex. I don't know anything about these. I don't know if they're
Right.
any good. Or...
Yeah, they're newer from the last 5 years, you know.
Then it goes to Powers of X.
Mm-hmm. But look at the coloring on it. They're just so dark, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to discern what's on the cover, not so much on this one here. But still,
That's a
that's
different
cool.
one.
Of course, I like Legion, you know. Big 50th issue. There you go.
Yeah, I had those. Those are some newer books I had sitting there. And I said, I don't know if I want all
Carrie
these.
says you both have creaky chairs. Yes.
You hear well, don't you?
Yeah. That could be just our backs, our bones. It's not, but thankfully.
See, even these kind I even get. You know, I like them.
Right.
I want kids to have a chance to read comics too, and I want to be able to give them something that you know, if mom and dad knew they were reading, it'd be just fine, you know.
Richie
You
Rich
know, when you can get
Diamond.
something a square bound for 20 cents, 40 cents, 35, you know, those
Yeah, a lot
are
of
some
those
later.
Harveys are thicker. They're big issues.
Here you go.
David Cassidy. Wow. That's a Charlton. Yeah. Photo cover.
I
He
always
used to
think,
be
you
a
know,
big
back in,
thing, you know, was
I
the
remember him
eldest
because my
boy in the
sister,
Partridge Family.
yeah, my sister loved him, man. She's in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
Hermits, Dino, Dez, and Billy. You know, I'm looking through this box here, you know, and I'm going, man, you know, I got some nice little square bounds. Got some nice older Korak,
There you go.
20 center.
Probably Joe Kubert cover. I don't know.
That's exactly right, my brother.
Yep. Black, sensitive around the edge. Yeah. That's definitely Joe Kubert there. Now I have that issue. Yeah.
Isn't that
That's
cool?
one of the latter issues before it was canceled.
This is number
But I bought it
58.
because it had all the bugs on it.
Yeah. Praying man is fixing to eat his butt. Yeah. Even found an old gargoyle.
Yeah.
You know,
Now he came out of the
actually,
Defenders, and then they gave him
he-
his own limited series. I like Gargoyle as a character.
I've even got one signed by Bernie Wrightson.
I bought those when they came out. Yeah.
Ever seen those?
Tono and Kono, the Jungle Twins. I think they were supposed to be maybe Tarzan's sons. I'm
Cause
not sure about that.
his cousins.
His
Maybe
cousins.
some Submarine.
Yeah. Tales to Astonish that reprinted the Submariners run. So reprint that was prevalent in the 70s. Jonah Hex. I know you like Jonah Hex.
El Diablo.
Mm-hmm. They'd always have a backup story.
I really like this one. Every time I see it, I get it.
Yeah. One of my first Hulks was pretty much the same thing, where he was in this mouth of this giant warthog. That's Rich Buckler cover there. I may
Hit
even
his
had
eye.
a production to that cover at one time before I sold it.
Blasting with those eyes, man. It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
You picked up some Fantastic Fours.
That's good. 20 centers. That's before I started collecting. That's Gil Kane cover, I
Of
think.
course, that's Richie Rich, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you run across something like this, if it's decent shape, man, they're giving it away.
Oh, heck yeah. What is this? Napoleon?
And
What is it?
Samantha. Napoleon and Samantha.
Yeah.
Disney
It's
Showcase.
Walt Disney Showcase and a Whitman variant.
15 center.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your one that's hard to find.
Roman Holidays, yep. And that's a Whitman variant.
Right?
That was a
Then, of
cartoon
course,
in the 60s. There's a Gil Kane cover for you. Werewolf by Night. 2 werewolves on the cover. Now that's got a little green over the F on wolf, but that's okay.
yeah,
Marker, I guess.
little mark. Yeah, somebody put a mark on it like there.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be coming through the other side. I don't know. You know how they do.
Right. I don't think that was a bleed through though.
Here's a Transformer with the poster. Who's looking for Transformers?
I think that was Timothy Olsen. Of course, he grew up with Transformers.
It's got a poster and everything in it. Remember, I got it for I saw it at the dollar store 20 years ago. Probably. Nice Hulk.
Yeah, that is. Let me look at that. That is John Byrne, probably. No, it's not. That is Steve Ditko with Al Milgram inks, I believe.
That's an annual. That's sweet, man.
Is it an annual?
Yeah. King size annual number 9, 1980.
Yeah. 1980. Yeah, Steve Ditko came back and he did some stuff for Marvel in the early 80s. I know he did a Fantastic Four annual for 1983. There you go. A gold key spotlight on Dagar. Shadowhawk always talks about Dagar. Tales of sword and sorcery. Doom flies on scarlet wings. 30 cents. Dagar.
Painted cover.
If I saw those things, and I probably did see a few of those on the stands when I first started collecting, I probably looked at them, but I probably ignored them for the most part. It wasn't my jam. Yeah, first issue special there. Metamorpho. You know, the artist that drew that cover is still living. She's 90 something.
Wow.
Ramona Freighton. I have
Yeah.
an Aquaman page drawn by her and
Heard of
signed by her. She's almost 100 years old and still drawing comic stuff. There's Gene Colan. Blade there on the cover. Number 45.
This is a beauty right here.
Oh, yeah. That's Walt Simonson. That's very early Walt Simonson artwork on the interior and on that cover. That's early Walt Simonson cover.
Yes, I've got one of his acetates signed. I mean, not his acetates, his painted covers signed.
Yeah, of that same title, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Seems like I've got something like that. One of the covers from Sword and Sorcery. I think that's Joe Kubert, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Actually, he's printed his name.
Is that House of Mystery?
Yes, it is. So is
Okay.
this.
I Vampire, yeah, that was a thing. Ran in House of Mystery in the early 80s for a while. I Vampire. Mm-hmm.
Got a few of those.
I looked at some of those. I don't think I ever bought any of those, but Cobra, yeah. That's the first issue. Tarzan Presents Edgar Rice Burroughs' Weird Worlds. Yeah, that's a Joe Kubert insert. I think he did the whole thing on that one. Is that
Number
issue one? What issue is that?
One.
One. Okay. Look at the black sensitive parts of that. Hard to get in
Probably
good
could be
shape, you
graded.
know.
Probably could grade it because I don't see a crease on that spine.
Mm-hmm.
Might have something else though.
We should sit around and just creak our chairs for
I
Gary.
feel another.
Yeah, that's got Bumblebee on the cover.
Mhm.
I don't know much about Transformers, but I do know Bumblebee when I see him.
You do know Bumblebee.
And I do own the Bumblebee movie, I believe. That might have been the last Transformer movie I bought. Kind of lost interest after a while. I don't think any of them were just stellar movies. Time Warp, yeah, that's Mike Kaluta cover, I believe.
I would think so. Yes, it is.
What's the one thing I know, Elsie?
You know your artists.
I know my comics. Yeah. Now that's a beefy looking Superman with the muscles.
Yeah, look at that dog.
Superman and the Atomic Knights, and DC Comics presents one of my favorites. Is that circle around the price? Is that on the bag, I hope, and not on the book? It looks like it's on the bag.
Yes. It's on the bag.
Yeah, I thought so. Thank God it's not on the book. The Atomic Knights were in one of the first books that I bought. LZ, one of the first comics I ever read. And yeah, I've got several of those, and I think I turned you on to that one. Action Comics, or Action Girl number 5, because she's dressed in a Pez dispenser as a Pez dispenser, and we both love Pez. That's a good one.
Did you like them?
The Defenders. Oh yeah, that's Alan Weiss cover. Especially when the Beast is there, and there's your Gargoyle again, Angel and Valkyrie. Yang, yes, another Charlton.
That's number 17.
Wow, that's a later issue. That might be actually lower print run. I don't know how many issues Yang came out with, but I'm surprised they went 17 issues, to tell you the truth. Thing. Yeah, that's Ron Wilson cover. They started that up after Marvel 2-in-1 went under. We're getting down to the bottom of the box.
Speaking of Marvel 2-in-1.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at that and see. That might be a Gil Kane cover. Looks like it. I don't know if I own that one. What number is that?
Number 10.
Number 10. Okay. I don't know that I own that one. I'm trying to get a complete collection of them.
I'll set that out for you.
I have to check. I've got multiples of 2-in-1. I've been buying them in lots and stuff for years. There you go. That's great Batman artist, Jim Aparo, Braving the Bold. Crossover. Special promo drug issue. That's the second drug issue that they came out with during the Reagan years. Part of the president's drug awareness campaign. I think those are vastly underrated, Elsie.
Well,
There you go. DC's Who's Who, which talks about all there. There you go. Jack Kirby, Silver Star from Pacific Comics. I love Pacific Comics. They had such a variety of things that they printed in just a very short time. They were some of the first direct retail things that came out. Oh, that's a good one. That's Marshall Rogers classic. Hell yeah. Marshall Rogers cover and probably insides. That's a good one. I'd look that one up. Witching Hour? Yeah.
This is an older one.
The bullets are coming out of the clock that he's fired, huh?
Arrows. The arrows of the clock
arrow.
are shooting.
Okay.
You know, the hands of the clock.
Mm-hmm. And what's the price tag on that one?
30 cents.
30 cents. Okay, yeah, that's going back there a while.
Here's the story of inflation, like we all need to know.
Promo book. Now that came out from the Federal what? Reserve?
Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Yeah. Very hard comic to find right there. Very hard. You could probably get that CGC or CBCS graded and have the highest graded copy. Classic Werewolf by Night cover. I think that one's done by Don Perlin. Love Don Perlin's Werewolf by Night. Brother Voodoo. Not that many crossovers. Maybe Brother Voodoo and Iron Man in the last two issues of Werewolf by Night, number 42 and 43. But Brother Voodoo crossed over with him. Another obscure Marvel character. That's a cool one. My brother bought me a Weird Wonder Tales. It wasn't this one, but that's the only comic book my brother has ever bought me. But I love that skull and spaceship and planet up there in the corner. It's really cool. So there you go. The creature coming out of the TV. Choking the guy out.
Got that dude by the throat, man.
Weird Wonder Tales. Very cool. A lot of that was reprint stuff from the earlier. That's probably a Luis Dominguez cover there.
Jigsaw Corpse.
It was called Tales of Unexpected, and then it changed to just Unexpected with issue like 104, maybe something like that.
It's like
103.
3 chilling comics in one: House of Secrets, Doorway to Nightmare, and Unexpected. Don't mess with the devil.
Mm-hmm. That's probably another Luis Dominguez cover. He did a lot of the horror type stuff for them.
I'm almost through with the box. There's
Okay.
another defender.
Another Defenders. Never can quite remember who did that cover.
Oh, he signed it. Looks weird.
Mm-hmm. I bought all
Plunkett.
those when they came out. Of course, it was the
Looks like
Beast.
it's got Plunkett as the name and B something.
Mm-hmm.
Little symbol. Okay, here's my last stack.
Last stack.
That's
X-Men. Yeah.
too old.
Now, who did that cover?
Andy Kubert and
Andy Kubert.
Machu Ryan.
Okay. I know I had this comic. This is when they were like $1, late 70s, early 80s. I might have even bought that at one time. World's Finest. Oh, look at that. George Perez cover. I may even sold this comic in my comic shop, depending on what issue it is.
Number 29.
29, yeah. They were good sellers. Now that gold ink there on that anniversary up there up top, you never want to touch it.
I want to touch it.
Or when it might be okay to touch it now, but it's real. I've had some that's real gummy and it will leave the oils off your hand on the cover. That's another great George Perez cover.
Origin of third appearance of X How, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's good to put little notations on the back. You know what you have. That's a Ron Friends cover there. He had a good run on Thor. Superpowers,
Like
Jack Kirby. There you go.
Like that stone there. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Easter Island, Stoneheads coming alive. That's not the first. He actually did a cover like that back in the 50s. That's upside down, but that's Gil Kane. Gil Kane inking his own pencils there. 100% Gil Kane. West Coast Avengers. Al Milgrom cover.
Number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
That's annual. No, number 1.
Oh, annual. Okay. Oh, nice one. 12 center. Look at that. Doctor Strange.
I love that.
Eternity, yeah. That's the
awesome.
Marvel Universe sort of characterized in a character. That's when Doctor Strange had his face mask on.
It reminds me of Steve Ditko.
See, that's that cover right there, like that Eternity character. That's what set them apart from DC Comics for me. They were more cosmic in their storytelling and characters.
Look at that photograph of New York down there.
Oh, partial photo cover. Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay. Very nice. That even enhances it even more. I like that. Hell yeah. That one's probably got a little bit of value to it. Yeah. Holographic. Well, I don't know about holographic. I forget what they kind of called that. But black sensitive cover.
You don't peel that off, do you?
I think you peel it off, but I wouldn't. I think that was a peel away thing.
Here's my last.
Oh, wow. One. See, I'm not into that cover at all. I don't even know what that is. Boom Studios. Okay.
It says Boom, number 1, Boom Studios. When they find them, we only find them when they're dead. Number 1.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Okay. Ended on a dud.
No,
No, it wasn't a dud, really. Uh, well, we could have talked for
Here we go.
a lot longer on Elsie's history. We didn't get as in depth with it as we got. We got off to a slow start. But there'll be other.
I'll be around.
He'll be around, hopefully.
People can talk to me, ask me, whatever, man. I'm cool. I'm not
I
got no
have not. I
secret.
don't think Elsie has. Carrie says, "Have you seen any of Marvel Echo TV series?" So I don't have inward streaming TV. I haven't for 10, 20 years. I buy hard copy disc and stuff and binge watch. Who came first? Black Lightning or Black Panther did by several years, maybe a decade. Rex, how do you remember all the artists and which comics they drew, inked, etc.? Just
You learn
experiences with
style.
themselves and yeah, art styles. Mainly it's in the face, how they draw faces, but not always. With Gil Kane, it's like knees and elbows and faces and and how he designs. He is one of the best designers, I believe, of comic covers.
Sometimes, like you said, you can look at the whole thing and know exactly who it is. The
Yeah.
whole picture. You just look at it and you go, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
But
And
then
then
there's
sometimes
things
it's
you
very
don't.
tough. Very tough.
Yeah, you got to analyze it. You got to go in there and break it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started doing that in the early 80s, and yeah. You two are great on panel together. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and God bless, Carrie says. Yeah, she knows I'm getting
God
ready to
bless
say,
you.
keep collecting. But I'll let Elsie say it today.
Keep collecting, my brother and sister.
Absolutely. He and I are going to be collecting probably till the day we die.
Yeah, no, man, I'll
It's
be right there
quite a
with
skill to memorize all that. Yeah.
you. As
What'd
your
you say,
comic
Elsie?
comes out, Rick, I said, as your comic comes out, I'll be right there with you, support you. If you need me to do anything, you just holler. You know that.
Yeah. I'm going to have to take Indiegogo off of this trailer just so that I can use it because I do like it. It revs me up. And it's in black and white. I do like that. Good friend and brother, Elsie Walter Elsie Danley. How about
Junior.
that for a name? Junior. Junior. Master collector. This guy's got the hell of a collection. You've only seen the tip of the iceberg. But, I've still got a whole bunch to show you, too.
And yeah,
Takes
and
a while.
Rex, since I've been on, you and I've showed a massive amount of collect. If they want to see a lot of cool stuff, all they got to do go back and rewatch some of these shows we did. Man, we pulled out
Absolutely, especially back in December when you first came on, you were dropping the Adlers and the Kirby painting and all kinds of stuff. So,
yeah,
absolutely. If they want to see some of my best collectibles, go back. I know you'll have to scroll down for a long time because I've got over 1,100 videos up, Elsie.
Yeah, I know, and you don't want to sit there and show the same thing over and over,
Right.
But
And I've tried not to do that. In some cases I have because the collectibles are just so
depends on what it is.
Rare.
Truth be known, Rex, you could spend every 2 hours you have showing everything you have and you wouldn't get through it for years.
Right. I mean, I've got 30,000 comics now. Some of those are duplicates, but the majority are not.
And my collection is nowhere near the size of yours, but you know, I do it my way. He does it his. We enjoy it. That's what matters. You know,
Carrie wants to see some of your paintings and my paintings and Abigail's sweet little face. Yeah, she's curled up over there. I'm gonna have to give her a bath.
she'd like my sweet little dog too.
Oh, I can't wait to meet Honey. I have not met your dog yet, only in the
Yeah.
pictures you've sent me. So she's gonna be a joy to be around. I can already tell.
She's like she's like a cat until she knows you. Tiptoeing around, you know.
She'd probably be all over me, smelling Abby on me. She'd probably like, oh,
You give her some time, she will be. I guarantee you.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're
That's
smart dogs.
yeah.
I don't
And
want a dumb dog.
no, 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 no.
And I don't want a dog with a bunch of hair, and I don't want a big dog. I'm glad you went with a smaller dog.
Well, I saved her. I mean, she was the best one of the lot, so I grabbed her. Said, "Come on with me. You'll have a good life."
Carrie wants to says maybe you can show some pictures of your dog tomorrow if you don't mind.
Okay, I will if
Okay,
I get
we'd
back
like to
in
see
time.
Honey, and you can
Sure.
tell us how you saved her from rescue and sort of like your history about pets because
Okay. Okay.
you and Susie's had pets. You
I'll grab
often
some
paint
pictures
your
of
pets. I have a bunch
first.
of in the back room behind my garage. I have a room full of
Bye.
paintings, and hanging up on the wall are some early er. I mean, I've got
Some
some
of
of
the
his paintings that go back to the 80s, the 1980s, and he has some of mine that go back that far. Um,
you have Bosco.
yeah, I have Bosco, I have Pumpkin,
Yeah.
and I'll try and
I
show
told
those, the pet ones.
yeah.
You can show, you got like at least one or two of uh, uh, self portraits that I did. Maybe you
Yeah.
can get them out of the room and show them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Show some
I
of
can,
my
I can,
early work that I did.
yeah.
Uh,
I need to move some of this stuff around in here so I can get around.
yeah. Well, that's
But
what I'm
yeah,
going to be
man.
doing. I'm going to be cleaning.
Thanks for having me on, buddy. Of course,
Oh,
I
thanks for
like coming.
coming on, man. Go
I
get you
enjoy
something to
it.
eat, get fortified, and maybe we'll
I,
come back and do it again. You never
hey,
know with me.
I'll check it. Always do.
All right. Uh,
Take
well, what do we say around here?
hail the chat.
And keep collecting.
Keep
But definitely
collecting.
hell the chat, hell the mighty replay. Thanks to all our new subscribers. I mean, in less than a month, we've gained
Yeah,
50 new subscribers.
you you gonna get your stuff here. I guarantee you.
Harry says, God bless. I love hearing how animals are rescued. All animals deserve loving families. And on that, we will.
Yes, I'm with you on that
They
for sure.
definitely do. I can get on board with that. There should not be one animal out there that is neglected for sure,
That's
or
right.
one child for that matter.
And
Anyway,
and you shouldn't turn your eye if you see it. That's for sure.
absolutely.
With children or animals.
Well, Elsie, again,
Or
thanks for sharing with me, buddy. And this is my good brother and friend. And if you don't know him, you should get to know him. He's going to make an impact in this world one way or the other, believe me. I know he's made a major impact on my life for many decades. So,
you
and
just keep
so,
on keeping on.
and since I've been online for over 2 years, the chat's really, and this show has really made, my channel has really made a big impact on me, as you know, Elsie. And it's a
It's
lot
so
of fun to
fun.
do, but it's a lot of work too.
Oh yeah.
But
Anything you put out is gonna be work, brother.
it's exceeded my expectations up to this point, and I hope it will continue to do so even onward and upward in 2024. And we'll just leave you with the current trailer. I mean, it's launching in less than 24 days. The count has begun. During this campaign, I can't wait to show you the pages and artwork that have yet to be made. I'm going to be buckling down and doing a lot of the pages with Doc. He's finishing up last assignment I gave him, and he'll be starting something new here pretty soon. We get that done and get some of this stuff off to Keith to letter. We'll have this project done. Of course, Dillard's got his story to do, and I don't know if he's going to letter that or not. If he doesn't, then we'll have Glenn do that too. It's only 2 pages, but it's all going to be fun, folks. It's going to be a fun ride this year, guarantee you. And this year starts today, so go out and make the rest of your day, the rest of your night, the very best it can be. And thanks for viewing us. We really appreciate it. God bless.